Now let's talk about this family, almost from a motherly perspective, as you are the boss of the Commonwealth at the moment, Secretary General. If you can just recap again for listeners of us who might not exactly know what the Commonwealth is. How big is this family? Who belongs to it?
Well, the Commonwealth is a family of 53 nations. We have 2.4 billion people in our Commonwealth. That's 1/3 of the world's total population. The 6 regions are Africa, which is one of the biggest, because we have 90 members from Africa. And if Zimbabwe comes home, which we are all hoping she will.
She left in 2003.
Yes, but if she comes home, which she's applied to do, and we are looking at this and hoping and willing and walking and talking, but if she were to come home, that would make 20 countries of the 55 countries of the African Union will be members of our Commonwealth. We're joined by many things. Language. We speak mainly English. We have the same parliamentary structures, the same institutions, and the same common law. So this is the bones of our family. But we come from Africa, Asia, Caribbean, the Pacific, North America, and Europe. So as I said, we have some of the richest countries in the world, but we also have some of the poorest countries in the world. We have some of the largest countries in the world, India, 1.2 billion, and some of the smallest countries in the world, Kiribati, Nauru, in the Pacific, tiny islands, and everything in between. We have landlocked countries, and we have island states. We have medium-sized countries. So the other 2/3 of the world, if they want to look, they will find someone who looks like them within our family. We're like a little petri dish of the whole world.
But what makes you qualify for the Commonwealth? It was countries that was first ruled or under British rule?
Well, that's how some people see it. That's not actually how our membership happens now, because Mozambique is a member of the Commonwealth. It used to be Portuguese. Rwanda is a member of the Commonwealth. Cameroon is now a member of the Commonwealth. None of these countries had been part of the British Empire, but they aspire to our principles. And all our principles are inculcated into a charter. In 2013, we said, why are we together? What do we believe in? What is our values? What makes us different from anywhere else? And so the 53 countries took 2 years, 3 months and 11 days to discuss and talk and argue. And eventually they said, everything in this charter is what we believe in. And yes, most of them were part of the old British Empire at one stage, but most of them totally independent from it. But they have decided to stay together as a family because they're joined by these values. Values of democracy, values of fairness, values of common decency. And no one has to be a member of the Commonwealth. It's a voluntary association. There is no treaty. You won't get punished if you leave. But why do people want to stay? Because actually this is not about tolerance of each other. Commonwealth countries respect each other, but much more importantly, they love each other. We've been through good times, but we've also been through very, very bad times. And we've done that as one. And I was talking to some of the leaders, and one of the leaders said to me, you know what about the Commonwealth? You are our bad weather friends. You know, so many people have fair weather friends. They're there when you're doing well. They're there when things are sunny and shining. But when you go through hard times, you don't see them. They disappear.
But in practical terms, apart from the camaraderie, the caring for each other, the love, what physical evidence, benefits are there to be a Commonwealth member?
Well, you know, this is what we said. We said, it's all very well, this lovely feeling we have, but what does it mean? What is the value? Let's get down to hard cash. And what we did in 2015 is we did a trade review. And we said, does all this love and mean anything? Does it have any value? And what we found out is that it does. There is a 19% advantage in being a Commonwealth member when it comes to trade. Because of all those similarities, because of our common language, because of our common law, because of our parliamentary systems, we have built up systems which are similar, which makes it 19% faster, cheaper, easier for us to trade one with the other. We trust each other more because we can recognize in each other similar systems. So what we have been working on since I became Secretary General, but before too, is how do we turn that 19% advantage that we identified in trade in 2015, how can we turn that into a 30% advantage? You know, we ladies like to go to shop, but we always want a bargain. So if we can make something 30% cheaper, we are much happier than paying full price. So if we know that by shopping with each other, we can get a 30% discount, would we not do it?
So there's trade benefits.
There's trade benefits, and there's also the benefits that we come from working together on climate change issues.
Yeah.
In 1989, the Commonwealth was the first organization to come together to say climate change causes an existential threat to all of us, back in 1989. And the Commonwealth has worked together to protect climate and to raise this issue ever since. And when we came together as a Commonwealth and came up with our Commonwealth Charter, which has 16 clauses, and the 17th clause is in our preamble because it is partnership. We always do everything in partnership. That was 2015. In 2013, in 2015, the world agreed the Sustainable Development Goals in the UN. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, 1 to 17, they are the same as our charter. 1 to 16, and then SDG 17 is in the preamble. So these things have come from our Commonwealth. Then when we went to Paris, there's something called the Paris Agreement on Climate Change.
Yeah.
This agreement, which says, 1, we have to agree on these principles. 2 degrees is our aspiration with a 1.5 aspirational target, and it has to be enforceable. We agreed that as a Commonwealth of 53, as our family, in Malta in November. And then the 53 countries took that determination to Paris. And what did the UN Paris Agreement say? Enforceability, 2 degrees, 1.5 degrees. So what we know is when we come together as a 53, because we come from 6 different regions, small ones, big ones, little ones, if we, the 53, can agree, quite often that is a pathway for others to agree also, because all our voices are heard.
So the Commonwealth is becoming more and more relevant. If you, having started so many decades ago, now in 2018 and beyond, it remains relevant and more so.
And in fact, it's really interesting because Her Majesty the Queen said a number of years ago, she said, the Commonwealth is the original World Wide Web because we have this network, and it is more relevant for our children tomorrow than maybe it was ever relevant for us before, because we live in this very interconnected world. Our children are talking to each other on WhatsApp and Snapchat all over the world. So this connectivity, having 6 regions represented, young people who can facilitate, who can talk, who can innovate, is really important. And the other thing we've come out of the Secretariat is we have listened to our countries and we understand everybody's trying to innovate now. Everybody's trying to find the solution to some common problems. And so we know, as we are all trying, many of us are failing, and we need to share those failures as well as our successes. And that's why we created an innovation hub. And on our website, which is thecommonwealth.org, which I hope every child, every grandparent will have on their iPhone or on their smartphone, because it has so many answers to so many of the questions. My Assistant Secretary General, Nabil Gohir, who helped me to create this in particular, said, before we used to carry the Commonwealth in our hearts. Now we have it in the palm of our hands, 1 click away. So everything we're doing is there.